Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's football show here on STV2. The main talking points on tonight's programme. Pedro Caixinha delighted with Rangers semi-final place. Neil Lennon is a happy Hibs manager. Robinson throws down the gauntlet to Motherwell's Louis Moult. Just a few of the talking points Alan Ruff and myself, Peter Martin, will be discussing, and delighted to have our main man on a Wednesday night, Barry Ferguson, with us to talk football, and lots to discuss. So let's first of all have a look at the back pages of the morning papers, which really is all about that Betfred League Cup quarter-final last night. Partick Thistle 1, Rangers 3. Ross will make history. This is, of course, Pedro Caixinha singing the praises of Ross McCrory. There's also that story we were talking about on yesterday's show, Neymar telling PSG to get rid of Cavani. And there's a little bit there, a sidebar on Neil McCann and some of the abuse he's received down through the years from some Celtic fans. The Sun, again referencing the Neil McCann story, and also Bruno in Old Firm knockout scare. This is, of course, Bruno Alves. His injury will be assessed over the next couple of days to see if he's going to make it for Saturday's Old Firm match. Here's the Daily Mail, and again referencing there McCrory, his performance in a Rangers victory. Did actually go to extra time, but in the end Rangers comfortable winners, 3-1. And the Courier, just one little story that I caught at the bottom there. Tannadice defender suffers heart square. This is, of course, Paul Quinn. And always a worry. Paul has been a guest on the show before, and we wish him well. No further worries for him, hopefully. So that's just some of the back page headlines, and of course most of it, no point in talking about Dundee against Celtic. We'll reflect on that tomorrow night on the programme, because it's not too far away from kicking off. But just one little story that caught my eye there, Ruffy, was the abuse that Neil McCann has received down through the years. He's a strong boy, he can take it on the chin, and again, I'm loath to highlight people whose really their head and their mind is in the gutter when they think that it's okay and people in the spotlight are fair game to abuse.
Yeah, you're right. You know, I think most footballers at some stage of their career will have that kind of criticism. You know, most footballers, you can deal with the football side of it, you know, if it's that way, but when it turns nasty, it can, you know, instigate trouble at games, you know, and some players find it difficult to handle, you know, but it's part and parcel of the game. You know, you're going to get abuse. You just have to, it's the level of abuse that it goes to, and some of it is out of order.
Yeah, both Celtic and Rangers were in for Neil McCann when he was leaving Dundee. Rangers got the march on him, and of course he showed tremendous mental strength when he actually scored at Celtic Park in the day Dick Advocaat's side won. And I would presume, Barry, you were in the midfield on that day. It was a scary day. I've never witnessed anything like it in the press box.
No, I was actually in the stand. I was injured.
Yeah.
I'd missed the last month of the season. I had a pelvic problem. But going back to Neil, I was just delighted that we signed him. He was a player that always caught my eye when I seen him, when I played against him. You know what he's like. He's a feisty character, and he's somebody that you want on your side. And for me, he was up there with one of the best players in his time at Rangers. He was so consistent, and he done a great job.
Yeah, and apologies to any Hearts fans who think I've forgotten about the job he did there as a player as well. Just on that point, you're the perfect guest. I mean, if Neil McCann's talking about abuse, it pales into insignificance, because you are what I call the man who's, you know, left, right and centre of everybody's abuse at the time you were playing. How did you handle it? How did you put it into perspective? What did you do to deal with some of it?
Well, I certainly didn't handle it in the right way when I was younger. You know, I wasn't mature enough. I got into a few instances but what I shouldn't have. I get punished for that with the club. But it's difficult, as Ruffy says. I didn't mind it if it was in terms of a football side, but when it came to the religious side of it, for instance, I'd a couple of times walked with my children when they were younger down the town centre, whether it be in Glasgow or Hamilton, people shouting abuse, and it's no nice when your kids are hearing it and turning around saying, "Dad, why are they saying that to you?" That's the side that I don't like. Listen, I'm fine with people supporting their club and whatever, but when it comes to the religious side, I just didn't like that. I've got friends that are Celtic fans. My father-in-law's probably the biggest Celtic fan you'll get. He's a season book holder at Celtic Park. I just didn't like that side. As I got older, I learned to live with it. You just have to watch where you go at times, whether that go to a restaurant, whether that go to a bar for a couple of drinks. You've just got to be careful nowadays. And if you do get a level of abuse, you've just got to try and walk away. It is difficult because you're only human, Peter.
Yeah.
I can understand why some people do react. I've reacted in the past, which is probably not the right way. But listen, you get older, you get wiser, you get more mature, and you learn to walk away from it.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, let's deal with the game from last night, Ruffy. We were along there. It's the first time I've actually been to see Rangers since the progress near Corn. Obviously, you see them regularly on the television. I think you get a greater sense and perspective on them when you're actually in the stadium. What did you make of it?
I thought, first of all, I thought it was a good game. I thought both teams deserved a lot of credit. I think Rangers were on the front foot for most of the first half, without the latter third doing anything special. And then all of a sudden, Thistle get the chance with a header for Connor Salmon, which the goalkeeper makes an unbelievable save, And these kind of saves turns the games. It gave Rangers a lot more confidence. And obviously, when Rangers got the goal, they were trying to see the game out, and then both managers made changes. Alan Archibald had to change to chase the game and try and get the goal, took off a defender, put another striker on, and I think Rangers tried to see the game out. So for me, I think Rangers deserved to win in the end, but that last 15 minutes when obviously Thistle were going for the jugular, Rangers looked wobbly, and when Thistle actually got the goal, I agree with Alan Archibald. If the full-time whistle hadn't went when it went, and there was another 10 minutes to go, they might have snatched it. But all credit to Rangers in the second half. Again, I think it was the tactical decisions that Alan Archibald took. The defence became not as organised as what they were, and Rangers capitalised on it. And I said to it before the game, that's what Rangers needed to go into the game at the weekend with a win.
Yeah, before I get Barry's take on it, here's what the Rangers manager had to say after the game.
The way the game was played, we deserve totally to be winners on the 90 minutes. I think we just missed fantastic scoring chances. On the beginning of the extra time, especially the first half of the extra time, we played the way we want to play. Calm, having the ball, the block compact, the players' connections, and always organized. And we get something that is very important for each team, which is 2 goals difference. And I'm happy totally with the effort and by the incidences of the game as well. We cannot forget that in the middle of the second half, in the period where the team was really controlling the game, take out Bruno and take out Declan at the same time, and get Lee and Ross that did a fantastic job. But there are changes that mix a little bit with the team. So we are very glad with the work the boys done, and we are very glad to be in the semi-finals.
What was your take on it, Barry?
The first half, it was pretty even for me in the first half. I know Rangers had more of the ball, but they never really cut through Partick. Second half, I was expecting a bit more. They come out. That's what I'm looking for Rangers, to be in the front foot. I know I heard the manager say that they need to sometimes slow it down, but when you're playing with Rangers, and no disrespect, you're going to places like Firhill, and the surface, to be fair, was like a bowling green last night. That's the best I've seen that. You've got to go and go at teams. And they've done that the first 15, 20 minutes. They get the goal, Candias misses the chance to go 2-0 up, and then they just go and sit back. Now, I don't know if that was because Alves had an injury, the boy John had an injury, but they sat so deep, and it allowed Partick Thistle. I know Matthew just said that Alan Archibald made a change, and great piece of management. As soon as the goal goes in, brings a defender off, puts a forward on. The last 20 minutes, it was all Partick Thistle, and I was just glad that the full-time whistle went, and I wasn't looking forward to the extra time. I think if the extra time didn't come, and as Ruffy said, there was an extra 5 or 10 minutes, I could have seen Partick nick it. But at the end of the day, Rangers came out extra time and did deserve the victory. 2 good goals. And do you know what? Before the game, I thought to myself, it's just about getting into the semi-final and getting through it. The performance could have been a lot better, but at the end of the day, they're in a semi-final and they just need to wait and see how they get.
Yeah, and of course Candeas, Ruffy, he will look at that miss as one of those classic howlers, open goal, all he has to do is side-foot it in.
Yeah, he did everything right up until the time where he decided to get around the keeper, and obviously once he went round him he lost his balance, and it looked as if, if it had been a quality striker there, he'd have just hit the target. That's all you had to do. But unfortunately these things happen when you're through. You know, having never been in that position, I don't know what goes through your mind, you know, when you're on a 1-to-1. You know, do you hit it first time? Do you get in the keeper? He just took the wrong decision.
Yeah, okay. Barry Ferguson's our boot-room guest tonight. He was some midfielder in his day for club and country. I'm going to get his thoughts on a couple of players in the midfield for Rangers. We'll see what he thinks of them and how he rates them. We'll also hear more from Pedro Caixinha. We'll hear from Alan Archibald and Jack Alnwick and Connor Salmon on the way. Join us after the break. Worse than going too early, Ruffy. I thought you would have got it with Boris Becker. You're usually good at that.
I thought I might have got it because I played in the game.
Did you?
If it's the one against Hibs, yeah. 3-0.
You're a disgrace. Honestly, it was that game, actually. Listen, we're going to hear more from Pedro Caixinha. He's been raving about one of the players. Okay, I've listened to what you've got to say in the game. I've listened to yourself, Barry. I watched the game. Rangers are not at the level they were at when you were playing. But I'm sorry, Carlos Peña scored a goal, but he done nothing else in the match for me. If you are a player who's trying to get to fitness, there are some signs you see in a match where a player, a midfielder of apparent quality, would come, try and build, show something, a trick or nothing. He took too many easy options for me and didn't really get on the ball. I'm still not impressed with him in any capacity whatsoever. And I still think Rangers at the back line have got problems as well. This was a team they struggled against who are at the bottom end of the table. I think Caixinha, I've always said, just get the wins. Who cares, even if it's an ugly win? But I'm not impressed with some of the players that are in there in the middle of the park who should be doing a lot more, and Peña is my main culprit.
Yeah, listen, I watched them close last night. In today's terms, Rangers have spent a lot of money. They've not got a lot of money to go and spend, so what was the transfer fee? £2 million or just over it, and then you take his wages into consideration. I'm expecting a lot more from him. He's been in since the summer. He clearly wasn't fit enough when he came, but he's had a lot of time to get fit. I know he scored the goal last night, but as you say, if you're going to play in that number 10 role, I've played with a number of players that have played in that role, you need to influence a game. You need to be a major influence. And I didn't see that last night. I know he got the goal, he played 70 odd minutes, but he still doesn't look up to fitness for me.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he's doing extra work. I don't know. I know he came from a different country, and I know about playing with players, it is difficult coming from different countries, but as I said, you don't get a lot of time at Rangers, but it looks to me if he's going to play on Saturday.
Yeah.
That team last night, I think he had a part of his mind on the game on Saturday. That was the formation he's going to go. You
think he's going to go 4-1-4-1?
I think that'll be the formation. I don't think Kenny will play. I think Kenny should play. For the simple fact is his experience, his knowledge of the game. For me, Kenny's still a good player. Look, I know he's not had a great start to the season. He'll be the first to admit that. But he'll be one of the first names in the team sheet. But I think the team that played last night, certainly if Alves and Declan John are fit, it looks to me if that'll be the team he'll go with.
Well, if Alves is not fit, Pedro Caixinha was glowing in his praise of Ross McCrory.
If I have Ross, which is going to be not only for our club, but for your country, for this great country, one of the best centre-halves that you are going to have in the history of this football. You just need to see. You just need to see what he did. Brilliant. Brilliant. So it's just a question sometimes. It's not about age or names or whatever. It's a question of having the chance and prove it. So we know what we have.
So you have no concerns?
I don't have no concerns about it. I never had it. I'm not going to have it at all. If he needs to play on Saturday, he will play on Saturday.
That's a lot of pressure on a young guy.
Yep, listen, I've got no concerns that he's a good player. I've seen him plenty of times with my own eyes in the under-20 league. It's a different league, I know that. He came in last night, the boy done great, but sometimes I think there's a way to just go and say, listen, he's done well, don't put too much pressure on him. What I like to see young boys coming through at Rangers. And certainly the boys get a chance, but I think there's a way of putting it across. Don't put too much pressure on him, let the boy just go and play his own game. He's certainly got a bright future for me. I think he could be a Rangers player, there's no doubt. But I think the manager's putting a bit of pressure, saying that he could be the best ever Rangers centre-back. You go back, there's some great Rangers centre-halves played.
I was just about to say.
There's some unbelievable centre-halves, world-class guys growing up, even before my time. He done well, there's no doubt. I think he has got a bright future, but it's still early doors. Let the boy just work hard and bide his time, and I'm sure he will be a Rangers player of the future.
Okay, it would be remiss of me not to talk about some of the things that irked me about Partick Thistle. Here's Alan Archibald's take on the 90 minutes and then extra time.
Disappointment, obviously, as overriding emotion. A bit bemused. I never seen that coming in the start of the extra time. I thought we finished the game really strongly. Probably the worst thing that happened was the final whistle, because I felt that we were strong and Rangers were sitting off us, and I thought we deserved our goal at the time. So it's a lot of ifs and buts, but look, the players were really confident getting to the start of the extra time. And if you fair to Rangers, they showed their quality and they pegged us back. I thought we got a little bit deep, and their good players do what they do. Connor was up front and he wasn't there as a target man, just to lump it up to him. I thought we played it up to him well, and we deserved our goal at the time. We worked it in the wide area a few times, and our final ball let us down. I'm not going to lie, it was a disappointing final ball, and we got to the byline a couple of times. But no, there's a lot of positives there. Good group of players, all working for each other. Just a real disappointment.
I can understand why he didn't play Chris Doolan from the start, because of the tactics and how he was going to try and negate anything that Rangers had to offer. But Doolan's a consistent performer. When he came on, he was a menace. Probably could have had another goal, as Barry mentioned. I just thought a couple of players gave the ball away. They almost orchestrated their own downfall. I wasn't impressed with Barton, although he's been a good player for them. And I don't know about you, Ruffy, but some of the defending at the back line at times, I think, was a wee bit ropey.
Yeah, but again, it's back to Alan wanting to play football the way we want to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, all football teams want to see a passing game. They want to see players, particularly defenders, being comfortable on the ball. And it's okay, you can do that. And I thought they did it to a part extent. But it's going to fall down somewhere, you know. And I think Thistle's own downfall was, you know, a slack pass. I've been could have been more careful. Obviously, the slip, there's nothing you can do about that. But on a whole, I thought Partick Thistle played the game the right way. You know, just the latter third, they just weren't clinical enough. But he's right in what he's saying. I mean, Rangers tried to see the game out, and Thistle were pushing and pushing and pushing, and the goal eventually came.
So Rangers are in the semi-final, and of course so are Hibernian. 3-2 last night against Livingston. I think Bobby Madden has left David Hopkirk seething with the penalty award, and on such decisions sometimes your fate can be sealed, and as you can see he's let him have both barrels at the end of the game. But Anthony Stokes doesn't care, Barry. He's scored the winner that puts them through.
That's one of the reasons why Neil Lennon signed Anthony Stokes. For me, Anthony Stokes has always had great ability. I don't think he's fulfilled that. I think this is probably his last chance. He'll not get away with much with Neil Lennon, that's for sure. But you just look at his goal scoring record for the start of the season, it's been great. And to go with that as a goal scorer, he's technically really good as well, Anthony Stokes. He's a player that I've always liked. I never liked him when I come up against him at Celtic, right enough. But no, he's a player that I've always thought he could have played at a higher level. But listen, I've seen Livingston a couple of times as well this season. they've done really well. To go to Easter Road and push them virtually the full game, fair play to them, but Neil Lennon will not be bothering. They're in a semi-final and they'll be looking to try and get to another final.
Yeah, I think it's the same ethos as Pedro Caixinha and Rangers. The Rangers fans are just thinking, and Rangers players are looking to think, okay, there are going to be some sticky patches in the match. Maybe you don't play well, but just get through, just get into a semi-final. And I think it'll be similar for Hibs. This is two teams that were expected to go through, and they've stepped up to the plate.
Yeah, I think in Saturday's game and this game, I don't think there was much of a difference. I think because they're in a semi-final, he's let them off because some of the defending was still pretty poor, you know, same as the weekend, and he blasted them at the weekend for it. But he made a few changes. Some of the guys come in trying to get the first team place. But at the end of the day, you're right, you know, it's semi-final, the crowds are up at 16,000, 17,000. You know, that's what you want. You know, the scoreline will go into the back burner immediately, and the supporters can look forward to a semi-final.
Yeah, in a strange sort of way, the cup will be handed out before the end of the year, Barry. It could give one team a huge lift, especially someone, as Neil McCann mentioned in the last couple of days, someone's got to beat Celtic to win that trophy.
Yeah, they're certainly the team to beat. I'm glad I think it was like that a right few years ago, where the trophy get handed out before Christmas. I think it's a good idea, but it's always important. Whoever wins that first trophy gets a major lift, as you just mentioned there. And we'll see. We've got obviously Hibs and Rangers in it. Celtic have got a tough game up at Dundee, and Aberdeen have got a tough one at Motherwell. So I fancy Celtic and Aberdeen to get in, so it'll be the four biggies, and it'll be interesting to see who they get.
Yeah, and of course the draw is made after the game between Motherwell and Aberdeen on Thursday, and we are going to hear from Stephen Robinson, the Motherwell manager. It's been a great start to the season for the Fir Park side. They might have surprised a few people along the way. We'll also hear from Derek McInnes. We're going to be talking about a particular referee who saw fit to lift the phone and speak to a manager and say, hey, I got it wrong, I apologise. How many referees would do that, and how many managers would come out and say, well done for having the guts to do it? We'll talk about that after the break, but of course here's question number 2 to test your sporting, musical and TV knowledge. Just 1 year out. I mean, we just blew you out right away, Ruffy, because Arsenal won the cup in 2005. But Barry, you were closest. But of course, you don't get any points for being close. So more questions still ahead. We were talking about one of the other quarter-final ties still to be played tomorrow night. It's Motherwell against Aberdeen. Motherwell have had a good start to the campaign, Ruffy.
Yeah, I've been impressed with the signings that he's made. Bowman and Louis Moult up front, and it'll be a danger to anybody. And then they've got the youngsters in there, obviously Cadden's in there. And I think the only problem they've got for me is the defence. You know, I thought they were pretty weak at the weekend against Hibs. You know, I thought they could have done better. If they'd done better, they'd probably get more out of the game. But I've just got a sneaking feeling tomorrow night for Motherwell. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I think it'll be the same as last night. I think it'll go the whole road, and it might be extra time.
Yeah, you can understand why everybody's talking about Moult. Aberdeen wanted to buy him. Motherwell were digging their heels in. Motherwell, I think, are quite happy to take the hit if he leaves for nothing in the summer, Barry, because it could be the difference between staying in the league and not staying in the league, having a goal scorer.
Yeah, if you've got a guy that's going to score 15 to 20 goals, I know they were looking for £500,000, but she says they might need to take the hit. They might go in January. At that stage, they could be safe, or they might go in the summer. But a lot of people go on about Moult. I know he's a genuine goal scorer, but I watched him 3 or 4 weeks ago, and the boy Bowman up front, he ran everywhere, non-stop, into places that centre-halves don't want to go. He was the guy who impressed me the most on the day. But for me, Motherwell certainly made a good start this season. They've always struggled at the start of the season, and and obviously he's done a good job there. He's brought in a lot of new faces, but he's brought them into a system where obviously plays 3 at the back, so he's bought players to play in that system, and that's certainly helped him.
Yep, and if he can get a goal scorer, always good when he steps up to the plate to get the goals. He bagged a couple against Hibs to give them a 2-2 draw at the weekend, and Stephen Robinson, the manager's delighted he's there.
To be honest, I think Louis always been focused. I have a very good relationship with him. He's scored, and his commitment to the club is not in question, and it will be forever. How long he's here, it will be 100% committed. If Louis signs a contract, he'll obviously be very committed to Motherwell, and if he doesn't, he's playing for his future career, and we know that we'll take advantage of that. If somebody had told me we'd have bought Louis Malt for 50 grand, he had scored how many goals? 40, 50 goals over the last 2 seasons. When we signed him, you'd snap your hand off for him. And Louis has been excellent for the football club. Will continue to be excellent for the football club. He's a boy that has the same work ethic as everybody else at the club, and that's he's one of the boys. He's not a big time Charlie, and I think that's why he endears himself to people.
50 grand bargain.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're going to get the benefit out of him. Obviously, the boy wanted a move, and he obviously had inquiries of where he could have went. That obviously sometimes messes up your head a wee bit, But once you get that out the road and you know exactly, you're focused on what is actually going to happen with your career, that's when you get the best out of him. And I think that's what's happened now. I think he's realised what he wants to do, and Motherwell are getting the benefit of it.
Yeah. Did you tip Motherwell for relegation, Ruffy? Somebody did on the programme.
Not me, no.
No? I think it might have been Gordon who tipped him for maybe the playoff place. But, I thought they might have struggled. But, I think we all opted for Hamilton on the programme, Barry, with, varying options on who you think would be in the playoff. Who did you go for?
I can't... Listen, I've got a major soft spot for Hamilton. It's a hard one. I try, to be honest, I try and get to some of the Hamilton games. My young nephew's playing there just now. He's in the under-20s, Derek's boy. He's doing pretty well there. So I can't tip Hamilton. But listen, it's going to be a close one down there. You just look at it. There's nobody that's drifted away yet. I mean, we're talking about last week about Lee, Kilmarnock. They get a good point up at Aberdeen. They're sitting bottom, but they win one game, they fly up 3 or 4 places. Yeah. So I think it's going to be tight again. I mean, last season, it was great, the bottom 6. I get more interest out the bottom 6 than I did the top 6 last year, with Celtic running away with it, and Aberdeen obviously finishing comfortable in 2nd place.
Yeah, it's funny. Don't worry about the fact that you could be hated as a pundit, because you were hated as a player. You might as well continue the run. Most people nowadays, Ruffy, are continuing to do that.
I'm used to being hated. Don't worry.
As far as the start for Motherwell, Stephen Robinson, I think he's got a long memory on some people at the start of the season tipping Motherwell to go down.
Considering we were tipped to be relegation favourites by probably everybody, I think we've surprised them. I haven't surprised me or the staff or the players, because we knew what we had in here, and it's only a start. And my thing now is to keep the squad happy and play down expectation. If we're being honest, we've started well, and that's it. We've had a good start to the season, but we haven't surprised ourselves in terms of our work ethic and our organisation. No.
Yeah, okay, Motherwell, a good start. If I was looking at players that are sellable, you talked about, and this is the way Motherwell have to operate. They've got some good money in from Marvin Johnson. Easily Molt is sellable, possibly in the January window, as you mentioned. Chris Cadden is almost certainly another one.
Like him. I've seen him play in a few positions. I've seen him play in the middle of the park, but I prefer him out in the right side. I mean, I think he could even possibly become a right back. Great energy. Looks a fit lad. Looks if he looks after himself. And for me, he could be a future Scotland player. I know he's in the under-21s, but if he keeps progressing, I think he will get a move, whether it be January or the summer. He just needs to keep working hard, obviously, in training and keep learning. I think he's got a bright future.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I was about to say to you, could he solve our international right-back problem?
Yep, he could, without a doubt. As I said, I've seen him play mostly on the right side, but he looks the type that could become a right back for me. People might think, oh, you're crazy, but I think he could end up a right back for me.
Yeah, of course, while he's at Motherwell, he has pinned his hopes in making sure he helps them stay in the Premier League.
The league is just finish high as possible. Top 6 is probably a reject. I think we've got the squad and the players to go do that, and maybe go and never know what happens. So no, I think we'll keep doing that, and then on Thursday we'll go in full of confidence. And then at home, I think we've shown this season. I think the gaffer's made sure that that one thing we've got to do this season is make sure people hate coming to Fir Park and hate the way we play and make it hard to aim at Fir Park. So yeah, that's what we've done. So at home on Thursday, anything can happen.
Yeah, there's been a few crackers between Motherwell and Aberdeen at Fir Park. I think I can remember actually going to a game where it finished Aberdeen winning 6-5. Ruffy, I think Ian Jess was playing, if my memory serves me correct on it. So they'll have a go. You think genuinely there's going to be an upset?
I think it'll go the whole road. You know,
Yeah.
you put me in the spot.
Stop
I mean, who do you want?
You're turning into him. You just want to be liked.
I think
you know, just give us an opinion.
I think it'll go to injury time, and I think
injury time. What,
extra
92
time,
minutes?
extra time, and Aberdeen will win it.
You've just last part of the show. You just said Motherwell could cause a
No,
shock.
I just said. Well, they might not.
So Aberdeen to win it.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
I thought he said Motherwell.
I know he did.
That's 10
Listen,
minutes ago.
this programme can change at any
I've
moment.
just
For it, by
noticed
the way. What about yourself?
I think Aberdeen will be too strong.
Yeah.
Yep, I think I've got. Listen, as we said, Motherwell have done well, and I seen Chris Cadden there listening to him. People will hate going to Fir Park. Have you seen Fir Park surface? Again, it's like Partick Thistle. It's like a bowling green. Last season, it was unbelievable. I was at a game, as I says to you previous 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it looked unreal. I remember going to Fir Park when it wasn't great.
Yeah. The far side of it used to be like a pigsty.
People enjoy going there because of the surface is like a bowling green, and fair play to the groundsmen. So teams like Aberdeen who like to get the ball down and play it will enjoy going to places like Fir Park.
Yeah. Here's Derek McInnes's take on this one.
I think when the draw was made, I think both teams' reaction would be something similar. You know, I think it could have been easier for both teams, but there's no many tougher ties I think for both clubs either. So. But no, it's all there for us. I think both teams will have the aspirations to get to the semi-final. It's very important to us to progress in the cups, and we see it as a real opportunity. And looking forward to taking the opportunity and getting down there. The year we won the cup a few years ago, we won it for Park and under difficult circumstances, down to 10 men after 10 minutes, and digging out a result. You know, being really solid and competitive. And been good enough to win the game.
Yep, I think Stevie May is going to score a barrel load for them this season.
Yeah, and the evidence we saw so far, you know, and just now he's scoring spectacular goals. I'm sure there'll be easier goals for him to score, but he needs to get the service into the box, and certainly that's what Aberdeen have done. They've bought players that are going to give him that service. Yeah,
I noticed in the Evening Express, Gary Mackay-Steven has come out and just opened up on the jumping into the River Kelvin after a few bevies. So he's kind of he's put it behind him, Barry. I mean, he's a good lad. There's no malice in him at all. He'll be determined as well just to get out there and start doing things on the park.
Yeah, he needs to. He obviously had a difficult time in Celtic in terms of the amount of games he played, so he needs to get out and play a number of games. He's got a big shirt to fill for me and Johnny Hayes. For me, he was Aberdeen's exceptional player. So he'll be looking to get that at the back of his mind and get playing football. Going back to Stevie May, a lot of people forget that 2 years, he's hardly played any football for 2 years with his bad injuries. With his cruciate, I think it was, he done in his knee. So it takes time when you don't play for a lengthy time. I know he's had a full pre-season, whatever. I think once he gets motoring, come in October, November time, he's 20 goals a season. Easy him as well.
Okay, both of them eventually picked Aberdeen. Here's our final question, and then we'll get them to pick a World 11 coming up. why did we guess instead of just listening to you, Ruffy? His birthday's obviously this year, but 18 you were going back automatically thinking you had it there at 99.
Yeah, but I ran out of fingers. Going back the way.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, there's a line right now that reminds me of being in school when people like you come out with things like tube is exactly what I was thinking of. Okay, we've talked about some of the quarter-final ties. David Templeton, you talked about you occasionally go and see Hamilton. David Templeton's got a broken foot. He's out for 6 weeks. I have great sympathy for him because his career's just kind of it hasn't even ignited the way the boy's talent should have dictated.
At Hearts, I really liked him.
Yeah.
I was happy when Rangers signed him. And for some odd reason, it didn't really kick off for him at Rangers. I don't know why. I don't know whether it was the system Rangers played at the time. I don't know. And then he disappeared.
Yeah.
I was actually, when I was at Clyde, I was trying to find out because I'd seen in the newspaper that Edinburgh City were trying to sign him, and he knocked that back. And obviously didn't want to go to that level, so I then thought pointless going to try and get him. So I'm glad that he's come into Aki's. Again, he's had a half decent start to the season. He's seen glimpses what it was like at Hearts, and to get the injury it'll be hurting him. But 6 weeks, it's not as bad as some injuries you can get. So I'm hopeful he'll be back sooner. Yeah,
absolutely. Here's a story which I think is uplifting. Ewan Anderson, the ref, has admitted that he got it wrong in the match between Ayr United and Alloa. It finished 3-3. He booked Jamie Adams for handball, awarded Alloa a penalty. They subsequently scored. You can see it all unfolding, can't you? But the video evidence showed that the ball struck Ayr midfielder Adams on the head. So it really was a blow, but fair play to Ewan Anderson. He phoned Ian McCall to say sorry, and Ian McCall, very gracious as he would be, to say, it took a lot of guts for the referee to do that.
Well, it certainly does, but I have to say, if he's watching the show, he better phone us as well, because he'd done our coupon and just let us down at the weekend.
I don't think Ewan Anderson will be calling us, Ruffy, but nevertheless.
No, it is a good thing for to do that. You don't want to be doing it too often.
No.
Because obviously football people will bring it up that this is the fourth or the fifth time you phoned me. But no, I think it is a good thing, and whether it helps Ian McCall, he's the only one that can answer that one.
Yeah. Was there a particular referee that you liked because he treated you as if you were a normal human being, and if they got it wrong, they could actually say, look,
I used to like Hugh Dallas, to be honest with you, because if you gave him a bit, he gave you a bit back.
Yeah.
You don't tend to see that now. I like referees that were tough.
Yeah.
You could actually talk to. As my career went on, when I was getting older, down in England, you had to go in and meet the referee, the captain and the manager of both clubs had to go in and have a chat. So the referee would be saying, listen, come and speak to me at any stage, right? No problem, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And then you would go and speak to him and tell you where to go. So what is the point?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was crazy. I liked referees who took a bit of stick off you but gave you a bit of stick back.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, you guys, I've got to come up with two things before we finish. First of all, a starting 11, Barry, for Rangers for Saturday. But the other part is FIFPro is going to pick a World 11 from the last season there, and the players actually select the 11. It's the player's choice. And
the players that are nominated?
All the players are nominated. There's 55 I'm going to give you in this list.
They're the only ones you can pick.
And the players all across the world pick, members of FIFPro pick who they think should be in the final 11. So here's the goalkeepers and the defenders first of all. Buffon, De Gea, Navas, Neuer, Oblak. Defenders, Alaba, Alba, Alves, Boateng, Bonucci, Carvajal, Chiellini, Godin, Hummels, Lam, Luis, Marcelo, Mascherano, Pepe, Piqué, Ramos, Thiago Silva, Umtiti, Valencia and Varane. And the midfielders, Thiago of Bayern, Sergio Busquets, Casemiro, Coutinho, Hazard, Iniesta, Isco, Kante, Cruz Matic, Modric, Ozil, Pogba, Verratti and Vidal, and the forwards Bale, Benzema, Cavani, Dybala, Griezmann, Ibrahimovic, Kane, Lewandowski, Lukaku, Mbappe, Messi, Neymar, Ronaldo, Alexis and Suarez. Okay, which one of you wants to go first?
Okay, I'm going to go for my favourite, Buffon.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's had a fantastic career. I'm going back four. I'm going to go Alba, Chiellini, Ramos and Marcelo.
Yeah.
Three in the midfield. I'm going to go Verratti, Busquets and Modric, and up front Lewandowski, Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah, so you're just basically hoping that you'll play 70 minutes with 11 and then Ramos gets sent off and then it's the 10.
No, he's
for the last
no, he
20,
is the
yeah.
one that
Yeah.
you obviously.
There's no
I'm
real
not a big
balance to
favourite
that
of
team,
his.
is there?
No, it's
That
Ruffy's
doesn't
team.
have to
It's
be.
Ruffy's team. Right, okay. I'm going to give you mine and then we're going to rely on you for a wee bit of great insight into it. De Gea, Alves, Chiellini, Hummels and Lam. Middle three, Busquets, Kante and Kroos. And then up front, you've got to go Neymar, Messi and Ronaldo.
Mm-hmm. Decent.
Decent.
Very good. I've went De Gea, Valencia, Bonucci, Ramos, Marcelo, Kante, Matic and Modric. And the three that you mentioned up front, Neymar, Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah, I think Kante's got to get a mention. He's just...
But I've got a bit of balance with my midfield, Matic, left side.
Yeah, I can't believe Chelsea let him go. Okay,
Nice.
Before we go, listen, it'd be remiss of us not to talk about it. As a pundit, and obviously as a former Rangers player, it's at home. What would you like to see Pedro Caixinha do against a team with, I think the general consensus is, superior players at Celtic?
First and foremost, they need to get something out of the game. Sometimes I think you've just got to... I know Rangers are at home, the crowd, the vast majority of the crowd, 40,000 are behind you. I just think we've got to go out with a different shape. I know he likes 4-4-2, but as you've seen last night, he played a different formation. And for me, that's the formation that I think he's going to go with. On Saturday, I think he'll go 4-5-1.
Yeah,
That's
if
what
he
played.
goes 4-4-2, you're filled with fear.
I'm not confident whatsoever. I think he's got to shut up shop a wee bit. We're too open with 4-4-2. You've got to be honest, listen, Celtic are the team to beat. Form doesn't lie. Over the past season and a bit, Celtic went unbeaten. I know I had a stumble about 3 or 4 weeks ago against St Johnstone, but I don't like doing it when you're playing at home, but Rangers can't let Celtic walk out of Ibrox with 3 points on Saturday. Because I think if they go 8 points, mentally, that's going to be great for Celtic, no so good for Rangers.
Yeah, and with that in mind, you don't see Kenny Miller playing, so who do you think that starting 11 is going to be?
I'll be honest with you, I think he should play. I would play Kenny Miller, but I think he's going to go with the same starting 11. If Alves and Declan John are fit, I see him going with that same starting 11 that he played for Hull on Tuesday night and got the victory.
Yeah, okay. And on that point, the toughest question of all is that side capable, in your mind, of getting something? What's your prediction on this one?
Well, more than hope than anything, playing in a lot of Old Firm games, I haven't not been in form. Celtic have been in top form and we've won the game. Now, a few people have said to me, oh, it's a different ball game in terms of what players you were playing with and what players Celtic had. There was some fantastic players. But it's an Old Firm game. You're at home. These are the games you want to play in, and Rangers, for me, can send a statement out here and say, right, do you know what? We're going out and we're going to make it difficult. Because see if it goes, the further it goes, 60 minutes, 70 minutes, you make it a frustrating time for Celtic. You just don't know what could happen in the latter stages of a game. You just don't know.
Are there enough players who know what it's about for you?
Another worry, Peter, is if you look at that team, there's a number of guys going to be making their debut. Now, for past experience, it took me my 4th Old Firm game before I really got to grips what it's all about. Now, that's me playing in a youth team against Rangers. reserve football in front of 30,000 people playing against Celtic, and I was brought up with it, and it still took me a number of games to grasp it, to get to know, because the pace of the game, you'd actually need to play in the game to realise what it's like. It's 100 mile an hour, you can't hear yourself speak, never mind shout or nothing. The fans are on top of you, they build up the full week. I know Rangers played last night, they would just be concentrating on Partick Thistle, but after that game you start thinking about Celtic at 12:30 or 12:15, whenever it is on Saturday. But for me, they've got to get something for the game. And what also I would do would watch a video for last season, the 5-1 game, and say, look, how did you feel after that?
Okay, listen, good to hear from Barry Ferguson. If you want to hear more from him, then along with Frank McAvenny, Joe Miller and Gordon Smith, all four of them will be giving us their thoughts on it for Friday's programme and the build-up to the noon kick-off on Saturday. From Ruffy, from Barry and from myself, Peter Martin, thanks for watching.